Hi folks, welcome to the Sunshiny Day Quilt Club and our stitching and applique video. This video is just to add visuals to the pattern in your members newsletter. Once you've cut out all your fabric shapes, you need to baste the fabric to the paper pieces to keep them in shape. I use glue basting for this, and I just use an ordinary Basting glue stick from the supermarket. Center the shapes in the fabric piece and put a little line of glue along the edge. It's hard to show on a video, but I'm leaning the glue stick away from the edge a little so that I don't get too much glue on the edge of the paper and the fabric. If you get glue there, it's a little harder to get the needle through later. You'll see that with shapes with sharp angles, like these triangles, I just leave the tails. They're easy to move out of the way while stitching. To baste the curved edge, baste the straight edges first and then the curve. If you do it in this order, it keeps the tails naturally pointing towards the block, which will help later with the applique. Put a line of glue around the curve and then fold the fabric over, allowing it to gather in places. Work your way from one point down to the next and then go back and finger press again. To whip stitch, put your two shapes right sides together and line up the edges that you're going to sew. It's best to try and center them rather than line up at one side, because often your fabric folds will add an extra little millimeter or so and nudge your shapes over. Make a little knot by stitching in place a couple of times and then threading your needle through the loop twice and pulling. And then whip stitch. Whip stitching is just putting your needle through from the same side each time. And you might be able to see that my stitches are usually 10 to 12 stitches per inch. When you're joining a shape at the next corner, don't snip your thread. And this is the same when you add the next round too. If you've got a shape that lines up with the point where you've just finished stitching, just continue without snipping the thread, and then you won't get lots of starting and stopping points in your piece. Making sure that you're sewing the right edge of your kites and curves is trickier than the triangles. So once you're done, lay your block out flat with your next piece in place and then bring the piece over, keeping the seam you'll sew together. And that way you won't accidentally sew the wrong sides of the shape to the block. Once you've finished piecing your block, give it a bit of a press with your fingers and then with the iron. This makes it easier to keep the curved creases after you've removed the papers. Then remove the papers and press again. For this next part, I've folded my background square in half twice to make the guidelines to center the block. I use an ordinary glue stick to keep it in place for applique. I find this so much easier than stitching around pins. Here you can see my applique knot. I bring the threaded needle around to the other end of the thread and wrap the thread around the needle several times and then pull the needle. I hold the winded thread in place with my other hand as I pull the needle through until it creates the knot. Push the needle up through the background fabric and the edge of the block. Next, make tiny stitches by putting the needle back through the fabric just under where your thread has come up, and then directing the needle over a little and bringing it back through 1/8 of an inch or so further along. If you get to a little part where the tails are poking through, just tuck them under with your needle and continue to sew around. The final triangles are super simple. Just put the 2.5-inch squares in the corners, mark a sewing line through the middle and machine sew. Trim the outside corner 1/4 inch away from the seam and then fold the triangle over and press. And here's my finished block. Thanks for watching. I can't wait to see yours.